Allah declared in the Quran, "Indeed, you will have no authority over my true servants, except those who choose to follow you." His body. But Satan can wound the body. Never a heart that belongs to Allah.
Iblis's anger burned, hotter than ever. Twice, he had tried to break Ayuub. Twice he had failed. Instead of losing faith, Ayuub had grown stronger. Jealousy and pride blinded Iblis, pushing him toward an even darker plan. Refusing to accept defeat, Iblis sought another test. He could not understand how a servant who had lost so much still remained grateful. Some people think faith depends on comfort, but Ayuub was proving that true faith lives far deeper than comfort ever could. Then Iblis pointed toward Ayuub. His eyes remained fixed on the faithful servant. He searched for a weakness, convinced that somewhere, somehow, Ayub's patience would finally come to an end. Filled with anger and frustration, Iblis thought,
His body remains strong. He still has his health. I will not fail now.
In his arrogance, he believed that suffering alone could turn a believer away from God. But he still had not understood the strength that faith gives to the heart. To Iblis, this seemed like Ayub's final shield. Yet health, wealth, and family are all blessings from God, not the source of faith itself. A difficult test was approaching, one that would challenge Ayub in a way he had never experienced before. But the question remained, would his trust in God survive this trial as well? Iblis believed he had finally found the answer. Wealth had not broken Ayub. The loss of his children had not broken him either. Now he became convinced that health was the final key. If Ayub lost his strength, surely his patience would disappear as well. He expected Ayub's patience to finally break. In his pride, Iblis imagined the faithful servant becoming angry and hopeless. He thought every person had a limit beyond which faith could not survive. But he was about to learn a lesson he had never understood. But Iblis did not understand Ayub's heart. Ayub's faith was not built upon wealth, family, or good health. It was built upon his love for God. Blessings had never been the reason for his worship, and losing them would never be a reason to stop. By Allah's wisdom, the next test was allowed to begin. Every trial has a purpose, even when human beings cannot see it. What seemed like suffering to others would become a lesson in patience, trust, and faith for generations to come. But one condition was set. Ayub could be tested, yet his life could not be taken. The trial would be severe, but it would remain within the limits decreed by Allah. For Allah is never unjust, and every test comes with wisdom known to Him alone. The next test was permitted to begin. Ayub's body would be afflicted, and a long period of suffering lay ahead. Yet even in this, there were limits. Nothing could happen except by Allah's permission and wisdom. But Iblis was given no power over Ayub's heart. That heart remained filled with faith, gratitude, and remembrance of God. Illness can weaken the body, but it cannot touch a heart that stays connected to its Creator. Nor was he given power over Ayub's intellect. Ayub's mind remained clear and wise. He continued to understand the difference between temporary hardship and eternal truth. His judgment was not clouded by suffering, for that is where true faith lives. Faith does not live in wealth, strength, or comfort. It lives in the heart, the mind, and the soul. And because Ayub's faith was rooted there, the greatest trial of his life was about to reveal a strength unlike any the world had seen.
If someone truly loves God, isn't that enough? Why would they need anything more?
Today, we will learn from the story of Prophet Ayuub.
The prophet who never stopped loving God?
And the prophet who never stopped trusting God's wisdom? Love plays an important part in faith. But the question is, how do we know we are loving God correctly? Can love guide itself?
That is the good reflective question. Many people love God, but love should be with recognition. Not everyone understands that love is with action.
Look at those birds that Allah has created. They care for their young so we can learn from them. They protect them. This is innate love, which they do not understand.
That is love. They clearly love their children.
But do the birds understand what love is? Do they think about it?
No. They feel affection, but they do not understand it. Allah gave animals affection, but Allah gave human beings something more.
Knowledge?
And love and understanding?
Yes. Allah gave us ruh, soul, and Allah gave us aql, rational intellect. Soul gives faith its value, depth, and personal meaning. Intellect gives faith direction and purpose. Both are needed.
So love without knowledge is incomplete?
Love without knowledge can become blind. It may walk the wrong path while believing it is right.
And knowledge without love?
Knowledge without love becomes cold. It knows the road, but has no desire to walk it. That is why Prophet Ayuub remained strong. He had both, love and understanding.
Now I understand.
Faith grows through both heart and mind.
And when ishq and aql walk together, the believer walks safely toward God.
After every trial, we naturally hope life will finally become easy again. For Prophet Ayuub, peace had returned, at least for a little while. He continued to worship Allah, to help those in need, and to walk through each day with gratitude. But beyond the horizon, another test was already drawing near. Sometimes the hardest trials arrive when we least expect them. Iblis had watched everything. Wealth had vanished. His children had returned to Allah. Yet Ayub's faith remained unshaken. That only made Iblis more determined. Remember, Shaitan never gives up easily. He looks for the moment when our hearts become tired. While others wondered how Ayub could still smile, he continued serving people before serving himself. He comforted the poor. He welcomed travelers. He remembered Allah and every blessing that remained. True faith is not only shown during prayer, it is shown in how we treat people, even when our own hearts are hurting. Then, something changed. It was small, almost impossible to notice. A quiet discomfort interrupted the peace of an ordinary morning. Many of life's greatest tests do not arrive with loud warnings. They begin with something so small that most people would simply ignore it. It was only a small pain, nothing alarming, nothing that seemed to matter. Most people around him never even noticed. But Allah was preparing his beloved prophet for a test, unlike anything he had faced before. The question is, when small difficulties enter our lives, do they bring us closer to Allah or slowly pull us away? The answer to that question often shapes everything that follows. The days became weeks, and the weeks became months. The pain stayed, but so did Ayub's faith. Each morning, he remembered Allah. Each evening, he thanked him. He still welcomed the traveler. He still comforted the poor. He still bowed his head in worship. Many of us become distant from Allah when life becomes difficult. But Ayub taught that hardship is not a reason to stop doing good. it is a reason to hold on to it even more. Little did anyone know, the trial was only beginning. Slowly, the illness spread further through Ayub's body. The strength that had once carried him through long days of work began to fade. Every movement became more difficult, yet something remarkable happened. As his body grew weaker, his trust in Allah only grew stronger. Sometimes Allah removes our strength so that we discover where our real strength has always been, not in our bodies, but in our heart, soul, and mind. For many years, Allah had blessed Ayub with health. Now, that blessing was being tested. Yet, when the time for prayer arrived, Ayub still stood before his Lord. His body carried pain, but his soul carried peace which overcame the pain. This is one of the greatest lessons of faith. Your circumstances may change. Your relationship with Allah should not, because true worship is not only for the easy days. It shines brightest during the hardest ones, and the greatest test was still ahead.
He still loves God.
And he understands why he must remain patient.
Exactly. His ruh soul gives him love. His aql gives him strength. And together they protect his faith. Love brought Ayub to God. Knowledge kept him with God.
Guidance from the Lord of the time. Remember with gratitude all of Allah's blessings. Give thanks for the gifts in your life. Give thanks for your challenges also, even they are a gift from Allah. Keep Allah at the center of your lives, and you will find peace. Keep Allah present, and you will act with integrity. Give thanks to Allah for all things, and you will experience feelings of abundance and happiness.